Welcome viewers, we are here in our home country for the official V8 Supercar Championship Series here at the wonderful Phillip Island circuit for the double Australian rounds, as we have next week also Bathurst, which will be an awesome race. But here tonight we've got 40 laps around this wonderful circuit. On the ocean, it's going to be a good race as usual. The track degrees 40 today, so the track temp's up. It's going to be a difficult drive for the drivers to be able to get a maximum grip out of these cars as we are in qualifying. Joining me in the commentary booth tonight is Paul Smith. Paul, welcome to the broadcast. Different to the Kias, and it'll be interesting to see how you take this one.
It's difficult to the Formula One that I do on a Friday night as well, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Should be a great race around a classic track as well, such an iconic track of the Aussie V8 circuit, so I'm looking forward to it, Jay.
Yeah, it's going to be an amazing race tonight. I think the strategy will come into play as per usual. 40 laps is a long way to go around here, especially on the tank. I think the tank is limited tonight, so that's going to make a little bit of a strategy call for some of these drivers, especially the tyres in 40-degree temp won't be able to withstand as much punishment as you'd like. As if it was a bit cooler, you'd be able to have a bit more longevity with the tyre life, but today it's not going to happen. So we're in qualifying, 2 minutes 40 into the session. Some of the guys will be starting to finish their first flying laps here. I'm on board right now with Mitchell McLeod. Good to see McLeod back once again. Did a good time in pre-practice, actually, just running a bit wide coming over Lukey Heights there. Now down into MG, just ran a little bit wide. He'll have to slow up on this lap. We'll see who puts in a top time here, Paul, but it'll be interesting to see what everyone does on time-wise. There's some good drivers in here that will certainly mix it up the front.
Yeah, certainly will be. It's McLeod just coming around the final corner now through turn 12. Important to get a good exit there, use as much curb as possible on the exit there. Jeff Gouch putting the first time in. Across the line comes McLeod. Not a good lap there, so maybe just getting the banker in to start off for this second flying lap now. Yeah,
definitely not his best lap time from Mitchell McLeod on the first one, but Jason Bent setting the early pace for Angry Birds Racing with a 30.5. Actually just gets beaten by Richard Elwood, and Bo Cattell puts it in P2. So the times are starting to tumble. A 1 minute 30.296 right now is provisional pole. Second, Bo Cattell for SSR in the Boost Juice Commodore, 1 minute 30.4 have eclipsed Jason Bent. Still yet to see a time from Ian Ford, Josh Rogers, Jason Quire and Nicholas Crofton. Still unable to put a time. I think actually Jason Quire coming around the final corner now, turn 12. This long flowing left hand, you'll be sitting in fourth gear trying to get the power down. This could actually be an outlap right now for Jason Quire. We'll see whether he crosses the line. No, it's a time lapse, so 31.026 puts Jason up into P number 9 there. So a good banking lap there from Jason. He'll be trying to push harder to try and make up a little bit of spots. He's a couple of tenths and he could be up inside the top 5.
Ian Ford just coming on to start his first flying lap, so holding back in the pits to start with, just to maybe get the best of the track conditions, along with Joshua Rogers as well. Nicholas Crofton, he's on the second flying lap now, so he's under pressure because he didn't set a lap time previously, so really the pressure is on for Nicholas as he comes through MG now, just to try and get this end of this lap correct, but still the times are tumbling. We've got more times changing up near the front.
Yeah, Mitchell McLeod just put in a 30.7, so good time there from McLeod. Good bounce back from his first lap that had a little error in there, puts himself in P number 6. So Crofton coming around the final corner now as well, pardon me. We'll see what time he's able to put in for his second fastest lap, a 32.2, so he only moves himself up into P17. And Rogers as well coming across the line to start his first flying lap. So Ian Ford and Josh Rogers, they do this often. They sit and wait and see what times get posted and then try and put in their fastest lap. These two will be very close up the front. I think that will be for the entire race, Paul.
Yeah, these two, they know how to work it. I mean, they're not number 1 and number 3 for a reason, that's for sure. But yeah, these guys, they're waiting for the ideal track conditions. A little bit more rubber gets put down in qualifying. I don't think a lot of people realise that if you just hang back a minute or so, that track condition could go more in your favour. Although, as you say, with it being such a hot track temperature, air temperature pretty cool though. But yeah, track temperature pretty high as he's running all the way out on the curb there as Ian Ford out of that turn 12. Across the line he goes, a 30.3. That puts him second on the grid for the time being with one more lap to go.
Yeah, second there from Ian Ford. He'll be happy with that at the moment, as Rogers is about to come across the line now. Where is he at? He's actually coming over Lukey Heights, sorry. So coming down into MG. He wants to get the car stopped using all the road and a little bit more, throwing up some dirt. Ian Ford at the moment is the championship leader, as Rogers sideways there again. He's trying to use the short shift coming through turn 11, trying to get the power down. He's able to do that. He wants to go up to fourth gear and let the car slide around here, get as much grip. Coming around turn number 12, using all the exit road and more, throwing the right side tyres in the dirt. Let's see what he's able to do as he comes across the start-finish line now, and it's a no-time lap there, so obviously went off somewhere, didn't get the time allowed. He's going to have to push really hard to put himself near the front. He ran wide at turn 1.
I don't think he's got time to put the lap in. I think he's going to run out of time to not be able to put the lap in, so absolute disaster for Joshua Rogers, because he's only got, what, 45 seconds left in the session. He's not going to make it all the way around.
He isn't, and that's a big mistake from Josh Rogers. He's left it too late. That's very unlike a TTL driver, especially Josh Rogers has been so competitive in this series. Obviously hasn't run all the races and hasn't been able to put himself up near the front, but if he still gets two good results in these final two races here at Phillip Island and Bathurst, he can certainly push himself up, as Ian Ford's about to come across the line now, and it's slower lap time from Ian Ford, and Rogers has actually bailed out of his lap as well. So I think that is it for qualifying in this session, and it's good pole position from Richard Alwood. He puts it on pole with a 1 minute 30.296. That's an amazing lap there. As we'll get you to run through the grid, Paul, if you could, for the qualifying order here at Phillip Island.
Yeah, I do apologise if I get any of these names wrong, but anyway, it's Richard Elwood at the pole position with Ian Ford on the front row with him. Bo Cattell in third with Jason Bentz fourth. Paul Gorell in fifth place with Michael Cracknell in sixth. Mitchell McLeod in seventh with David Moore in eighth. Jeff Gaucher in ninth with Michael Hammond in 10th place. Jason Quire in 11th with Aaron Seitinger in 12th. Greg Sharp and David Baxter on the next row with Mario Vosic and Todd Parks there 15th and 16th. Todd Arkle, Nicholas Crofton then 17th and 18th with Stefan Schlacker and Ivan Casanova in 19th and 20th, and Joshua Rogers rounding out your grid. 21 cars on the grid. Joshua Rogers at the back there in 21st.
Yeah, that's interesting for Josh Rogers. He's going to have to push. I'm just having a look now who he's got with him today. I think he's got Jake Maloney who will be helping him through this one. So he's got a good spotter there, Maloney. He'll be able to pick a good strategy to get Rogers up through the field. Wouldn't surprise me if he ends up somewhere in that top 5 or even on the podium. He's got a lot of pace, Rogers, so he will be up there somewhere. But good time here from Elwood up front. It's going to be close up front. When you look at the times, 1 minute 30.3 will round it up by the 4,000ths of a second. That Elwood was under the 310.3 mark, and then you look down to about P6, 7, 8, 9. They're about half a second separating really the top 9 cars. That's pretty close, and there's some stellar drivers in there, as I think the revs are starting to build, so we're going to have a green light any minute now. Some of the cars are starting to rev a little bit early. Don't want to waste fuel in that strategy window.
Yeah, it's a real difficult to get it right, to make sure that you don't use too much fuel. Just interesting, top 13 covered by less than a second, so real close times around here, Jay.
Yeah, always is the V8 Supercar, very close in times, as the revs will start to build now as we get ready for a good green start in. And we are away. Good jump, initial jump from Richard Elwood was very good, and it was a very good jump from Jason Bentz on row number 2. He's going to easily get around Bo Cattell on the outside. He could even try Ian Ford very late on the brakes into turn 1, trying to go around the outside and do a corner. He's actually got the inside line for turn number 2, and he's going to get it. Good jump there from Ian Ford through the southern loop. He's going to take P1 away from Richard Elwood. Jason Bentz takes P3. Everyone just running wide on the cold tyres, trying to pick their marks. But it looks like everyone's gotten cleanly through turn 1 nicely there, as Ian Ford has taken the lead right quickly, and Richard Elwood on the defence already, as Rogers out in the dirt in the background. I don't know whether he's going to make contact with anyone. No, actually someone else is off. Quire's involved. There's a couple of cars in the background off. A lot of cars just trying to sort themselves out 3 wide, and another one's off in the background. That's Todd Parks. So heaps of cars going off the track at the moment, as Josh Rogers is already up nearly, I'd say, inside the top 10. He is pushing his way through this field already.
Yeah, he's up to 10th place already. It was Kochi and also Baxter who went off down at Honda. But yeah, 10th place already for Joshua Rogers. He's getting the elbows out. He's really putting it on. As we've got a move possibly through MG there. David Moore and Michael Hammond together, but not able to make that move stick for the time being.
Yeah, it looks like the guys are pushing really hard already. It's good to see, as Ian Ford has already opened up a stellar gap. I'd say it'll be about a 1 second gap at the moment as he comes across the start-finish line. Ian Ford is trying to get a wriggle on. He's actually, right now at the moment, the championship leader, so he wants to make sure he can wrap this championship up. He knows that Rogers will be coming, and he's already up into P number 10, so 21st in the grid up to P10. Good start from Rogers, and it looks like the field's just starting to form up now. This battle's going to be on, though, from P3 on backwards. You've got Jason Benz, Bo Gattel, Paul Gorell in the new black and red KSW painting car with his teammate Michael Cracknell behind him. They've got a little bit of a gap back to Mitchell McLeod, but I think that will close up when they all start to get a rhythm.
Todd Parks moved up a position there, up to 17th. He was 18th across the line. He's looking to the inside into Honda, and that's going to be a move down the inside of the 19 car, Crofton. Crofton, though, are holding it out on the outside, able to hold on to that place for the time being, but Todd Parks looking very racy today. Yeah,
very racy already. Good move there. Well, Todd Parks did go off early on from contact with Josh Rogers, but it looks like he's back on the track now, so Rogers is already gaining on Michael Hammond in front of him, so expect him to start. He's actually going to make a move down into MG. He's got it done, so a good move there from Josh Rogers. He's gotten past Michael Hammond. That's another one off his list. He is moving up through the field in that hyper stimulator Ford Falcon. He is pushing as hard as he can. Up in front, the gap is just starting to eke out, but the teammates here are starting to have a battle. Paul Gorell and Michael Cracknell, I don't think they'll be wanting to get into a little scrap between themselves right now.
And the draft down this main pit straight, down the Gardner Straight, is so crucial to get you close to your rivals in front as you go into that Doohan corner, and it's so difficult to get your braking right as Cracknell going side by side there with Gorell. And well, around this second corner here, it's, as I was saying, Southern Loop, it's so difficult to get your braking right and to get it right and get the power down nice and early to carry that speed through Stoner Corner down towards Honda.
Yeah, that's right. You want to get the good exit here, and Mitchell McLeod's gained on both of them, and I think Gorell's trying. He made a lot of left front brake lock there in a Honda, which is weird. He's locked the outside front. He's going to lead his teammate through Michael Cracknell, or is he going to try hold on to? He's actually trying to push his teammate there. He's got that position back, so he's holding on here. Cracknell's trying to get around him. I think that maybe Cracknell's quicker in this early stage. Gorell hasn't got his tyre pressures up to where he'd like him at the moment, and this could leave the door open for McLeod, who was having a look there in the background through Hayshed, now coming over Lukey Heights. He's going to try and go the long way around Cracknell down into MG, but it's opened the door as Rogers as well having a look on David Moore. He's going to get that one done, so move Rogers up another spot. Cracknell's gotten past Gorell, and McLeod's now looking around the outside. This is all on for young and old, and I think Rogers is there. There he is. He's there right behind McLeod. He's actually having a look. Return 12. That's a gutsy move right there. There's fast-flowing left-hander, and he's got it done. So good job from Rogers, but it is on already.
He's got that Ford Falcon set up perfectly, hasn't he, as he's going down the Gardner Straight once again. That back end looking loose. Oh, a bit of bump drafting down there, and well helped there, Rogers, to keep hold of that. McLeod's from wide. That's cost him big there. He's lost at least one place. He'll possibly lose 2 places, although he does come on in front of Zeitinger, so able to hold on for the time being. But McLeod, big moment there, gone into Doohan corner.
Yeah, I think McLeod just had a massive run on Josh Rogers, bumped him down the front straight. They were lucky to both get away with it, even though McLeod went off the road down into the entry of Southern Loop. And I think Rogers was having a look there on Paul Gorell. Don't know whether he was able to get it done. Gorell's holding it tough. Going to come around now into Siberia. He's going to have the inside line there for Gorell, and he's going to able to hold on. But Rogers, sideways again outside of Siberia. He is pushing as hard as he can. He may have to come in a little bit earlier compared to his competitors, depending on his tyre life, which could change his strategy up a little bit, but with the pace he's got, I don't think it'll really matter too much when he comes in, Paul.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. So he's looking down the inside into MG once again. It's a favourite overtaking spot around this track, but sideways and contact! Big contact there. Gorell got sideways on the exit there, and Rogers, he already had some damage on that car. He's going to have even more on it now as he's trying to get out of the way, get it into first, and away he goes again. Looking at the replay now, you saw that move down the inside of MG. He thought he had the spot, but Garrell just on the exit there, getting on the power a little bit too early, getting a little bit wide, and bang, into the side of Rogers, and Rogers sent around.
Yeah, it wasn't anyone's fault there, just Garrell getting a bit eager, trying to get that power down, trying to hold his position there. He had all right to do that, and it just rear ends kicked out.
He's off. Yeah, he's off at turn 1. He's struggling with that car. He must have major damage on that front left. Certainly got a lot of damage aesthetically, nothing else, but surely got some steering damage there.
Yeah, I think that secondary hit had a little bit of contact as well from Garrell. It sort of speared him right in the left front of that car, so it may have hurt the steering a little bit. He's going to try and push on and see what's happening. I think there's a car off in front of them. I don't know who that was. It's just trying to come up. It was David Moore as we're moving up to P number 2. It's on up here. Wow, look at this. Elwood coming over Lukey Heights with Jason Bentz. And that is Bo Cattell trying to find a way through the last round winner at Motorsport, side by side. A little bit of contact between Jason Bentz and Richard Elwood. And I think Bentz is going to hold on for that one. And here comes Cattell. He's going to have to sit in behind. He got a win last week at Motorsport after Ian Ford made a mistake from the lead. So he's going to try and want to bounce back and get another one today. But Bentz a little bit wide. It could give Elwood a good run down the straight. But move Jason Bentz up into P2. Elwood down into P3, and Cattell would certainly have an attack. This coming down into turn 1. Here he's going to look. Oh, he thought about it, thought better of it, dropped in behind him, maybe have an attack through the southern loop.
That started all the way back at Siberia. They were side by side with Elwood and Bentz, but Bentz able to make that stick, and now Cattell really putting the pressure on, looking to get the better exit out of the southern loop as they head towards Stoner Corner once again. And just look at the run that he's got here through this left-hander, this fast left-hander. Going defensive is Elwood, and he has to do that really. Is here behind is Cracknell as well. He's coming onto this battle, so we've got a four-way battle here for second place.
Yeah, these boys are really putting it on today as they're coming around Siberia here. Jason Bentz already started to get a couple of car lengths on Elwood, but certainly Elwood would be able to close down on the draft down the front straight. And we'll see coming through Hayshed, this fast right hand of 5th gear, trying to hold the car flat to the floor, coming over Lukey Heights. This corner's very tough. It's a long left-hander. You're trying to get the car settled, and it looks like Bo Cattell is going to have a look down in MG. Wow, big move to the left and then straight back over. So he's having a look, just trying to fill up Elwood's mirrors. He's realised now that Michael Cracknell has closed right in on him, and he'll be wanting to have another look to try and benefit if these two make any mistake going through turn 1. And this is the corner, turn number 12. You want to get the power down, want to get a clean as exit as possible so that you can get a maximum run down this front straight.
Yeah, it's all about that exit, carrying that speed through that final corner, turn 12, as you head down the Gardner Straight, using that slipstream, using that draft from the car in front, and certainly these cars just stay together. Oh, look at how much Cattell is moving about there, under braking. He's really means business here today as he comes round that southern loop once again, but for the time being, Cattell not able to make the move on Elwood.
No, he isn't able to make the move, but we know how much Cattell likes to move the car around, and Bentz is off. That looks like that was an issue with the car. Bentz it wouldn't turn right under brakes. It just went straight off left. I don't know whether it clipped the grass and it may have locked the rears under braking, but he went straight off, and that has hurt him. He was starting to gap the field in P number 2, and now he's dropped off, and that has gifted Richard Elwood back up into P2 with Bo Cattell now down in P3. Yeah,
the back end just seemed to slide out on there for Bentz around that Stoner corner. That just sent him into the grass and unable to stop it for Honda. So yeah, down to 6th place for Bentz. But look at Cracknell again, under braking, really all over the place. He's desperate to get past now because Cracknell behind, just dropping off a little bit from these two actually. So Cattell using up those tyres, and as we say, hot track conditions here. How much effect will that take on these rear tyres? Because of course all that power going through those rear tyres will certainly take the life out of them.
Yeah, that's one thing with the hot tracks with this car. Just loading up those rear tyres under throttle, it just heats them up and you can easily start to slide them. And once you heat them up too much, Obviously, they can't drop the temperature as much as you'd like, and around here, it's not a high degradation track, but it's still very high in comparison to some of the other places that we go to with the V8 Supercar. And Cattell loves to slide that car around, so you'll be wanting to nurse those rear tyres as much as possible. I know, just an update, sorry, on Josh Rogers. He is coming to pits. He is 2 laps down as Bo Cattell had a look down in Honda. He locked the rears late in the braking zone. He was able to pull it up. But it looks like they're closing in on Ian Ford. I don't know whether Ian Ford's doing a bit of fuel saving, but Cattell trying to go around the outside of Richard Elwood through Siberia. Good driving there from both of them, giving each other enough room there. And I think Elwood not able to, he was able to cut the nose off of Cattell to be able to hold on to that position. But Michael Cracknell in a watching brief at the moment. Definitely can benefit if something happens from here as he's, Lukey Heights again. He may have a look down in MG. He's gonna go really on the inside. Little bit of contact at the apex of the corner, but nothing in it. And these boys are pushing really hard. They can see Ian Ford is dropping back to them, and they both want to get there first.
It's fantastic racing. The thing is, if they fight too hard, they'll end up losing ground on Ian Ford. So Ian Ford can afford to just can afford to just hold back a little bit to save that fuel, look after his tyres. It's ideal strategy for him. I mean, he was, last lap, it was a 32.5 compared to a 31.9 from Aylwood. So he is losing a little bit of time here. Have a second. Cattell! Well, hell, look at that car control there from Cattell. But that's going to let Cracknell go down the inside of the southern loop. But fantastic car control there from Cattell.
Yeah, that's just another one of Cattell's secret little talents he's got here. He's actually run wide at Stoner Corner. He's going to try and have to hold up. We don't want a big accident here at Honda. He's actually able to pull that up on the grass. Well done. We didn't want to see an Alex Bremer. And I think it was James Courtney, it was a couple of years ago in 2014 when the two got together there, no brakes on the grass, and he was able to pull it up. But Cattell, once again, showing he can slide these cars around and can keep control. One of the best in car control in this series. He's able to do as much as possible to this car and keep it on all fours on the track. He does an amazing job as we're going down. There's a good battle here between Michael Hammond and Mitchell McLeod, who's actually just stagnant at the moment for McLeod. I thought he would have been able to make up more positions. This is going to have a look on Michael Hammond going down into MG, down the inside of the Angry Birds Simulator Commodore, and he's got that job done. And Adam Zeidinger behind them is going to maybe close in on Michael Hammond. As Hammond was actually sideways there, coming through turn 11, coming into turn 12. If Adam can get a good exit speed here, he may be able to have a look down into turn 1. Let's see, going down Gardner Straight now. Adam in the draft of Michael Hammond. Is he going to pull out in that Ford Falcon? He had a look. Not close enough this time.
Yeah, it's Holden versus Ford here. Between these two, always a strong battle here. That Ford Falcon there, and that classic sort of looking livery there as well. Through Southern Loop once again. Get the power on nice and early, but not too early. They can run all the way out over the curb there as you head down through Stoner Corner once again and get your braking absolutely spot on as you head into Honda. It's all about getting a good flow with this track and making sure you get your braking points right. But, the car in front there, McLeod just running wide, and round goes Hammond.
He just got on the power too early at Honda, and he's gone around. He's lost the spot, actually. I think behind them it was David Moore actually getting the spot up on Baxter as well there in the background. But Hammond, he was doing so well, moved his way up into P number 8 from 10th on the grid. Was having a solid drive, made a little error again, as there's a good battle going on between Michael Cracknell and Bo Cattell. Cracknell defensive into MG once again. Cattell in the Boost Juice Commodore all over the back of him. He is pushing hard. Everyone's pushing as hard as possible at the moment. The gap between the leaders as well is down under 2 seconds now. It's 1.9 between Ian Ford and Richard Elwood. But this battle for the final step on the podium is on.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you'd think it was a sprint race with the way these drivers are going at it. They're absolutely manic. They're trying to get up as quickly as possible past the cars in front of them, but that KSW car in front, Cracknell just able to hold on for the time being, but we've seen, as I say, the incredible control of Bo Cattell around these corners, but it's all well and good sliding the car about, but it's not necessarily the fastest way of driving in, as you said earlier. going to be using up those rear tyres more quickly. And with these hot conditions, it's all about looking after the tyres, looking after your fuel. And I think that's maybe what Ian Ford is doing at the front, just looking after his car.
Yeah, that's right. All Ian Ford is doing is managing his pace. He's able to do that, and he's out in front. He can push the gap back to Richard Elwood, and then behind, he can just slow the car down, figure out what he wants to do, save some tyres so that he can push before he has to make a pit stop. And Cracknell and Cattell, they've lost a little bit of a touch to Elwood, but that's because those two have been battling, and that's what they don't want to do. They want to try and get into a rhythm where they will be able to close that gap. As actually Cracknell running a little bit of a defensive line, just running down sort of the middle part of the road there. Cattell not able to gain much ground at the moment. It looks like it's pretty stagnant between these two, sort of running similar. Oh, you're actually...
yeah,
he's around, but Cattell's pitted. Cattell has come in the pits early. That's a very early pit stop. Lap 11 of 40. He's going to have to try and push these tyres 29 laps in this 40-degree heat. He will be struggling towards the end, but we'll see what happens with that. That could be an interesting strategy play here from Cattell, maybe trying to get the undercut.
Well, I could tell you with Todd Parks, just while we're looking at that, Todd Parks lost control through Stoner Corner. Just got on the curb, the back end kicked out and across the gravel trap. No way of stopping the car, heavily into the barrier. Todd Parks, that's going to cost him big time. He's like he's out the race.
Yeah, I think Todd Parks has retired from the race after that, and Cattell has exited the pits right now, and I think he's got a pretty clean gap coming out, and he's going to be on fresh tyres, so he's going to push as hard as he can, try and get the undercut on both Ian Ford and there, but Hammond back on the track now, and he's got a battle here with Greg Sharp and David Moore, who's trying to recover after contact early on where he ran wide. Actually, no, he didn't run wide. He actually had a mistake, sorry, down at Honda corner, and he spun out, a little bit of contact there. He was able to get back on, but now he is trying to get past Greg Sharp, who's trying to get past Michael Hammond here, and this is for the outside of the top 10 in P11. Hammond dropping all those spots after that little mistake that he had a couple of laps ago.
Yeah, Hammond doing the recovery drive now. He's maybe the red mist has just descended a little bit in that car, because he won't be happy with himself making that. Well, it was a pressure mistake, I'll have to say. I won't say it was unforced, but it certainly was a mistake coming out of Honda corner. But still, he's got to make that recovery drive. He's got to push now, but push within the limits, because you don't want to, as I said, we don't want to keep on banging on about it, but you want to push the car too hard or too fast too early, because then you will suffer towards the end of the race.
Yeah, that's right, and I think that's where, here we go, actually, David Moore coming down the inside of Jeff Gauci. He's going to be there, and he's going to get it done in the Ford Falcon, or is he not? I think he's got it done. He was able to cover off down into Southern Loop there on Jeff Gauci, so good move there by David Moore in the CSR Ford Falcon. He's got that position up into P number 12, but I was just coming back. Yeah, if Hammond starts to push a little bit now, he's going to have a different tyre strategy and take a bit of life out of him now, especially with that pit stop. As we've seen, Cattell has already done his. I think that's a bit early for Cattell. He's going to struggle towards the end, so these guys going a little bit longer can maybe benefit towards the end of this race on their tyre life, but especially Cattell is trying to get a benefit now and trying to undercut those two up front.
Well, so he's got Todd Arkle ahead as Cattell, so be interested to see how quickly he can get past Todd here. Because we've seen he has got the pace, and in fact Todd is just waving him by. He's going, "You go, son, you've got your own race, I've got my own race." And well, nice and easy for Bo there to be able to make that move. So keeping a good look at pit stop for Bo, so he'll be looking to go well. But still, that battle going on. We've got a few battles going on, but Michael Hammond still holding on to that place, but David Moore trying to get onto the back of him.
Yeah, David Moore having a recovery drive himself now behind Michael Hammond, and he's closing in quite quickly there. 32.1 from Michael Hammond compared to a 31.9 from David Moore, with a pass on Jeff Gauci going down here into Southern Loop the last time by, and he's gained a lot of time again through the Southern Loop on Michael Hammond. If you can get it nice and power down nice and early here, he may be able to have a look going down into Honda corner, coming through Stoner right now, flat to the floor, 5th gear, maybe clicking 6 depending on how much of a run you have got now the Southern Loop. and he wasn't able to have a look very late. Oh, a little bit of a brake lock there from Michael Hammond, and it's actually left the door open for Moore to have a look down into Siberia, but not close enough. It looks like Hammond is really struggling with that car at the moment. Maybe the tyre pressures aren't suited to this weather condition, but it looks like he's really struggling right now.
Yeah, he's not happy with the car at all. He's, as you say, he's locking under braking. We've seen him getting loose as well on exit the corners, so maybe he can just make a little tyre pressure adjustment at the pit stop when that comes up for him. But yeah, going down into MG, he's again locking up there. So David Moore just seeing the opportunity. If he's seeing those brakes getting locked up all the time, he'll be thinking, I've got him under pressure. I've got this guy here. And it's all about getting that exit right through turn 12. Look at how much tighter David Moore takes it into turn 12 to then run it out wide. He's trying to use that slipstream as they go down the Gardner Straight once again. We've got 26 laps remaining in this race, and these two, they're going at it hammer and tongs, but for the time being, Moore just hanging back for the time being. Maybe just using Hammond as a bit of a slipstream just to save a bit of fuel.
Yeah, that could also be what David Moore's trying to do. He just save a bit of fuel, but it definitely looks like those flat spots that Hammond's putting on those front tyres are wearing him out, and it's just not helping him. He looks like he has a lot of understeer. It was noticeable through turn 12 last time by where the car just wouldn't grip in the front and he ran that wider line, and Moore's going to have a look down into Honda. Has he got the car deep enough under brakes? He hasn't, and once again another inside brake lock from Michael Hammond, so he's struggling to get this car stopped no matter what he's trying to do with it. And he's losing time to Greg Sharp in front, so he's just sort of dropping back into the clutch of Moore, but Moore has the pace to catch Sharp and a couple of the other cars in front, so we want to get around him as soon as possible and start to make a move up through the field and try and get as many spots as possible. And just an update on the front too, 1.7 second gap between Ian Ford and Richard Elwood out in front, as the rest of the field pretty stagnant from here on out, but Moore having another, he's very close there on the brakes in at MG, could after a good run down Gardner Straight have a look into turn 1 again.
Just for information, Bud Cattell has made it up to 15th, made it past Nicholas Crofton on this lap, so I'll be keeping an eye on Bo, that's for sure, just to see how he compares to the others when they come into the pits. But yeah, this battle between Moore and Hammond, it's just going on, it's simmering away, it's almost like it's not coming to a flashpoint yet, but just nicely simmering away, ready to get near. It's like a steak, a well done steak, just getting ready to switch it over, flip it over. When that happens, then it'll be on, then it'll be all guns blazing.
Yeah, I don't know how much longer Moore wants to wait. We're on lap 16 of 40, so we're coming up towards the halfway mark of this race. That could be where some people start to dive in the pits, trying 50-50 on the tyre set. You don't need much fuel to come in, and that's why when you've seen the pit stop from Bo Cattell, 9.5 seconds, it's sort of the time it takes to do tyres, so it's about 17-15 litres worth of fuel. It's not much, but it's still, you can't save that much. You could try, but you'd be definitely off the pace, especially in this heat. The tyres won't be able to last the full 40 lap distance unless you're really struggling to try and push it all that way. And here we go again. He's just, actually Hammond looks like he's had a stronger section through Honda and Siberia now, where he's able to actually close in on Greg Sharp in front of him. And it may make this a 3-car battle here for P number 10, as Sharp struggling down into MG, wasn't able to get the front turned as quickly as possible, or short shift up into third around turn 11. Try and ease the car on the power, just squeeze it down as nicely as possible. You don't want to let those rears slide out. And coming around here, turn number 12, you want to get that exit to come down Gardner Straight, and I think it's going to be another good run here from Hammond. He's in that slipstream of the MPMS ERA Commodore in front. He's going to have a look down the inside into turn 1. The Angry Birds car not close enough there, so another good held position there from Greg Sharp, but it looks like Moore's coming under attack as well. They're all very close through the southern loop, but they are pushing as hard as they can now to try and get inside the top 10.
This is absolutely fantastic racing. Sharp has got a little bit of front left damage, so that aero damage will be causing him to wear out his front tyres just a little bit more, causing him to have to a little bit less top speed as well down the long straight. But yeah, certainly this battle intensifies. Oh, Moore just getting it sideways on the exit of Honda, and here comes Hammond looking down the inside of Siberia, a bit of contact. That won't help matters, and while Moore is all over the back of them now, this is a real three-way scrap here They're desperate to get past that car of Greg Sharp, and Hammond not able to make it happen for the time being as they head now towards Lukey Heights.
Yeah, a little bit of a bump and run there. Hammond backed out of it though as he runs wide over Lukey Heights and is going to give the spot to Moore on the inside, but now will be on the outside down into MG. It looks like that AR8 Commodore in front of them of Greg Sharp is struggling right now with that damage, like you were saying before, Paul, on that left front, maybe hurting that left front tyre there, and it looks like Jeff Gouch is starting to close in as well, so it could be a 4-car battle anytime soon. But look at how close Moore is to the back of Hammond. If he can get a nice slipstream and run down Gardner Straight, he may be able to have a look here. I don't think he's going to be close enough, no, because Hammond's going to get that draft of Sharp, and it's going to keep him in front of Moore. But once again, it's on for another lap between these three here, and they're only battling down here in P10. It just shows that the battles are thick and through in this V8 Supercar field.
Yeah, everybody else just staying sort of in place at the moment, trying to hold on to it. But yeah, certainly close between these three for the time being. As I say, Gauchi coming up behind, catching up and trying his best to get with them.
Oh, Moore having a look down into Honda. Is he close enough? He's actually got that one done. Very nicely done there from David Moore. Another position past Michael Hammond. Now let's see what Moore can do to Greg Sharp. There's a little bit of a tap again from Hammond. I think that was behind. He's really pushing them through Siberia. He has a better car through that section of the track, but he's not able to get the job done anywhere else. Looks like the car's struggling under brake, especially down into Honda, and that's where he's losing a lot of time. But Moore, maybe have a look here coming down into MG. He's not close enough though, but he may fill up the mirrors, and he's actually done that. He's running that tighter lining. I thought he was actually going to try and throw it down the inside, have a big dive bomb move, but he didn't. He just was using that line to try and close up to Greg Sharp as Alwood pits from number 2. So Richard Alwood is coming now. Let's see where that puts him in comparison to Bo Cattell. I don't know where Bo Cattell is, Paul, if you can find him.
He's just coming around turn 12.
Well, Alwood's in the pits, so here we go. This is going to be close between the two of them. I think Alwood's actually going to get jumped here from Cattell. Alwood's just leaving the box now, and there goes Cattell. So a big gain from Cattell. Alwood was second, about 2 and a bit seconds behind Ian Ford the last time round. So I think with that gap that Bo Cattell's got, he could be firmly in the lead here.
It certainly is. He's been pushing hard, but as we said earlier, it was a very early pit stop, and I'm interested to see how he looks after his tyres, because that car will be screaming for mercy towards the end of this race. Also in the pits that time as well was Michael Hammond, so he's made his pit stop, and the Moore and Sharp still battling away, and it's intense battling going on down this field. Jeff Gauchi catching up to the back of them now as well, Jake.
Yeah, they had contact going into Honda. Moore tried to go down the inside of Sharp. The door wasn't open enough, and they made contact. They managed to get back on the track without losing a lot of time. They lost a bit of time to the guys in front, but they were able to get back going and sort themselves out. Moore let Sharp go back through. So good little bit of sportsmanship there between those two to be able to sort itself out and get going again. They've sort of just released as actually that's Jason Quire coming in the pits now, just in front of them. And I think that's Adam Zettinger, Mitchell McLeod, Jason Bentz. So a lot of cars, as well as Sharp comes in. So a lot of cars coming in trying to get their pit stop done out of the way at about the halfway mark. So that's where I thought some people trying just to halve and half the tyre life and try and maximise as much pace as they can. As Cattell's already gone past them. He is flying right now in that boost juice Commodore.
Yeah, he's up to 6th place now. He is 28 seconds behind the leader. And well, with the pit stop time being around 9.5, 10.5 seconds around at this track, it's going to be interesting to see how it comes with Ian Ford, because Ian Ford needs to really get the hammer down, maybe just to get a good couple of laps before he comes into the pits, because Bo Cattell is on a mission today.
Yeah, Bo Cattell trying to make it 2 from 2. He won last week at Motorsport. He's going to try and win here at Phillip Island, the first of the 2 Australian rounds this season. And it looks like Ian Ford really needs to start punching out some laps now. We'll see what he's going to do here. And as just having a look there from Bo Cattell, he was sideways once again around Honda. He does that often. And let's see whether Ian Ford comes in the pits. He does. So lap 20, he's going to halve and half this race. Actually, he's on the grass on the entry using every little bit of road, trying to maximise his speed. I think Cracknell is coming as well as Garrell. So
everyone's coming in.
I think everyone's going to come in and get their next tyre set. Vlasic is coming as well. But let's watch Ian Ford in comparison to Bo Cattell. Let's see how quick this stop is. David Moore staying out, so trying to maximise his tyre stint right now, trying to have a better tyre life at the end of this race.
Cattell coming up to the pit straight now.
Ian Ford, sorry, he's leaving his box. It's going to be close. Ian Ford, he's going to come out, use the short exit, and Cattell has rounded him up. So that is a positional gain there from Bo Cattell into provisional P1 once David Moore pits. But now, this is where it comes in, the strategy game. He pitted on lap 11. Ian Ford pitted on lap 20. There's nearly 10 laps of different tyre life left in Ian Ford. He's going to push as hard as he can to catch Bo Cattell, and it's going to be hard for Cattell to try and hold on.
Well, this is it. I mean, it's the ultimate dilemma for Cattell now. Do you just absolutely push now, try and build up as much lead as possible while Ian, as he locks up into Honda, does Cattell? But Ian Ford is already right there, just behind. So Ian Ford, he won't be letting Cattell get away with this one. And once those tyres get right up to temperature for Ford, this will be his opportunity.
Yeah, this is going to be on. They had an amazing battle last week at Motorsport, coming down to the last couple of laps, and Ian Ford wasn't able to get the done after his mistake through the final corner there. And this week he's trying to get that win back in that ERA Commodore. Cattell straight away on the defence. He knows that Ian Ford's got those fresher tyres, and he's going to push as hard as he can to get this spot. But once again, a good battle between these two. They had an amazing race last week. Like I was saying, they were door to door, no contact. Let's hope we can see that once again. And Ian Ford looks like that fresher tyre life is straight away. He's got those tyres turned on really fast. He's able to put some lap down already. Yeah,
he certainly had a good outlap there. He's just trying to get a bit of clean air there, just to make sure that Bo Cattell knows that he's there. David Moore still out in the lead. He's staying out the pits again. So really able to carry these tyres on. Maybe he's going for a later push than the cars that he was battling with. But it's these two we're going to keep a focus on at second place at the moment. Bo Cattell and Ian Ford, Richard Aylward in fourth place, Michael Cracknell in fifth, Mitchell McLeod in sixth, Paul Garrell in seventh, Jason Benz eighth, Todd Arkell ninth, as here comes Ford down the inside into Honda. And well, it was a matter of time really. Just look at those fresher tyres, able to get on the power earlier, and that's job done.
Yeah, good movers actually. That it was a clean pass once again to Honda, and those fresher tyres have done the job there for Ian Ford. Cattell still sliding up to Siberia, trying to hold on to the rear. It's now just a matter of holding on and seeing where Cattell will end up. If he can try and hook onto the back of Ian Ford, he may be able to hold on for P2, but wouldn't it be a matter of time before Aylward and the following pack of Cracknell try and close up to Cattell, as Cattell sideways under brakes down into MG. He's struggling to get the car pulled up. Now I wonder whether Moore is going to pit this time. Just going to have a look here with Moore. Actually, no, he stays out another lap, so he's definitely trying to run out as much as he can to get a better tyre life towards the end, which looks like in this 40-degree track temp what is helping, because I think that strategy play from Cattell, it's helped him overall right now, but for another 18 odd laps around this Phillip Island circuit, it's going to be tough.
Well, David Moore is the only one who really is yet to pit. But his lap times compared to the guys that he was battling, Michael Hammond and Greg Sharp, he's losing time on those two, so really he wants to be thinking about coming in sooner rather than later and then making the most of those fresher tyres, because it will be fresher by about 3 or 4 laps, but certainly Moore just losing out on lap time on them for the time being. But look at that last lap, Ian Ford at 1:30.8, absolutely fantastic work from him, within half a second of his pole lap time, so great stuff, and considering that he made an overtaking manoeuvre as well on that lap.
Yeah, well, not his fastest up the race as well. He did a 30.6 early on, so he was pushing on then, and he's pushing on now on these fresher tyres. He just knows how to do to get this car done. Should be the championship elect after this season with 1 round to go. It'll be very tight in the championship race, but we don't know 100% that he's got it sewn up, but I think with a gap of about 200 points heading into the final race will be enough for him to be able to hold on, especially with the guys behind not having the extra championship races that will count to boost their championship run. So that should be all sewn up for Ian Ford, but it looks like there's a good battle going on actually down here with Michael Cracknell, Mitchell McLeod and Paul Gurrell. Looks like Cracknell made a mistake the last time round. He did a 33.427, and the gap has closed to McLeod as actually David Moore pits now to get those fresher tyres on.
Listening to me. That's what it is. He must have been listening to me, Jay. That's the other thing. He's into the pit stop here, getting fresh set of tyres, some fuel on board. It's a long pit stop, is this? So maybe getting a lot of damage fixed as well on that car, because we did see that he was getting involved in issues as past goes. Who's that? Baxter going past, and also
that was Sharp and Gauchi as well as Baxter.
Yeah. So he has lost places in that battle, but fresher tyres, he's not that far behind as well. He's only 2.3 seconds behind those guys, so he'll be hoping to make up that ground on those guys.
Yeah, I think that's what he's going to try and do, try and push as hard as he can, punch out some qualifying laps for this first early portion of this final stint here. But it definitely looks like at the moment that is inherited Ian Ford the lead. Bo Cattell sitting P2 with Richard Alwood, but this battle between Michael Cracknell, Mitchell McLeod and Paul Gurrell looks like they're closing up ever so slightly. I don't know whether McLeod, he didn't have the pace early on. He was really struggling to find the car speed in that talking Commodore, and he's going to try and push Cracknell to the end, but he's in a SDC KSW painting a little bit of a sandwich here right now is Mitchell McLeod. He will be trying to get out of that one as quickly as possible, but looked like that little mistake from Cracknell. He's made it. Now he's trying to get the hammer down and trying to open up that gap to get P4.
Oh, running wide there, McLeod, over the exit the curb of that turn 12 down the Gardner Straight. Just going to lose him a little bit of speed as you go down there, and that's allowed Gurrell to catch up slightly onto the back of him. So really pushing hard, but a little bit too hard. Just back it up a little bit, Mitchell. It's all about keeping it clean, keeping it safe, and not pushing the car too much. But yeah, Gurrell really able to close up to the back of him now, and we're starting to put the pressure on McLeod as they head down towards Honda.
Yeah, coming through Stoner now. Mitchell McLeod 31.317 last time by to a 1 minute 30.975, so a 4/10 gain for Paul Gurrell, and he is now right on the back coming out of Honda, coming into Siberia. Don't know, he's just looks like that right front damage that may be hurting Gurrell in certain areas of the track, but it looks like McLeod's just trying to push this car as much as he can, but it's not working like you were saying, Paul. He needs to sort of tone it down half a notch and try and get a bit of a flow and a rhythm going on. He's just trying to overdrive the car a little bit, and he's just run a bit wide over Lukey Heights. Again, he's just not able to get that car turned into the apex, and he's going to be able to stop it nicely down in the MG. It just looks like he's just struggling, like I was saying. Early on, he wasn't able to have the pace, and it looks like he's got that sort of an issue again on this second set of tyres. Maybe a little bit of a tyre pressure adjustment has maybe gone the wrong way. Yeah,
well, Gurrell, I don't think Holden designed his car like that, but anyway, he's made it look like that, and he's really under the rear wing now of that Holden in front of him. McLeod just having to go a little bit defensive, trying to break that slipstream down the Gardner Straight. We have lost Jason Bentz as well, so a man who was battling earlier on, he is out of this race, which is a shame for him. But coming through, Southern Loop once again, Gurrell just looking menacing. He's slowly creeping up to the back of McLeod. He was 1/10 faster on that last lap, and this is all he needs to do. He just needs to just slowly gain them times. Gurrell will be seeing that in his little timing screen, and he'll be rubbing his hands with glee, obviously with two hands on the wheel, of course, responsible driving folks. And through Siberia they go, but as we said, McLeod, he seemed to struggle at the start of the race. He seems to be struggling at this section of the race as well with those tyres.
Yeah, just a little bit of a struggle at the moment, but I think he'll get on top of it. Gurrell is doing a great job as well, and Adam Zettinger also down in P number 7. Has to be a great drive this season. Adam has always delivered top-notch quality results in his first season in the V8 Supercar, and he's been starting to punch out and pushing inside the top 5. He had an amazing win in the America Series last weekend, so he's starting to go from strength for strength in this V8 Supercar, and next season he will definitely be on the money from the word go and be able to challenge for race victories next season. And it looks like McLeod was able to push out a gap, 31.311 from McLeod to a 31.484, so a couple of tenths there from McLeod. He's able to push on. He's actually the quickest out of the 3 of them, including Michael Cracknell. So maybe McLeod's just started to figure out, maybe made a roll bar adjustment or a brake bias adjustment as well in that Commodore. Just trying to find everything he can right now to maximise his position to hold on to top 5 or maybe even go for that top 4.
A man who's on the move, David Murray, made it past David Baxter down at Honda on this last lap, and he is considerably faster than David Gauci in front of him as well. He was 9/10 of a second faster on that last lap, so those fresher tyres, we're seeing it in that battle for the lead earlier on with Burkettel and Ian Ford. Well, David Moore trying to make the most of those fresher tyres now in this battle for 12th place. Greg Sharp at the head of them as well, so Greg will be feeling the pressure a little bit as well, because David Moore's faster than him as well.
Yeah, and he's faster than a lot of the cars in front of him. He was even faster than Hammond, who's a good 5 seconds up the road, but if he can get around these two as quickly as possible, he may be able to push his way to challenge for a top 10 result. But he's got to get around the 2 ERA Commodores here of Jeff Gauci and Greg Sharp. So he's going to be pushing to get that one done as he's gaining a lot of time over Lukey Heights now, coming down into MG. He's not close enough this time by, but he's definitely closing in ever so slightly. He's just pulling that rope and trying to gain as much time as he can. He's being very gentle on these tyres. These brand new Dunlop rubber that he's got on for this final stint. A couple of laps fresher. I think about 3 to 4 laps fresher than the 2 in front. So he's got that little bit of an edge, and he's trying to use it as much as possible down the Gardner Straight. Let's see what he did last time around. A 31.365 to a 32.058. So another 7/10 of a second going off that. He should be able to get around Jeff Gauci towards the end of this lap.
He was also half a second faster than Greg Sharp as well on that last lap, so really David Moore is the man on the move, able to make that longer stint at the first half of the race just work out for him. But it's catching is one thing, as the great Murray Walker used to say, passing is quite another. With these fresher tyres, David Moore looking to the inside already of Honda. Locking up the brakes there is Gauci, and they're going to go side by side on the exit. This is where he did Baxter a couple of laps earlier, and into Siberia. That's David Moore through there for another position. It's up to 12th place now.
Yeah, good move there from David Moore. Gauci didn't know whether he was going to throw it down the inside, and it just made him lock the inside front, gave him room, and there went David Moore streaking on by. So that's another position for Moore up into P12. Now he's got to get around Greg Sharp and then try and push on to catch Michael Hammond. He was another 8/10, half a second, quicker than Hammond, who's in front of them. So he could maybe get that in the next 12 to 13 odd laps to be able to gain the time that he needs to be able to put his car inside the top 10 after a good qualifying result in P8. But he's still got a long way to go on these tyres, and everyone else will sort of slow down as well. It's not just going to be him being the only one that will punch out faster lap times. The others will start to come to him as well.
Yeah, Greg Sharp with front left and rear right damage on his Holden there, so really he's going to be struggling in the longer run, and that'll start affecting his car towards the end of this race. But David Moore, once again, about 6/10 of a second faster than Sharp on that last lap, so really gaining time on him. I'll be keeping an eye on this battle for 4th place. It's really close actually between Cracknell and McLeod, and McLeod really now just seems to have turned on his car now, making those in-car adjustments maybe perhaps, but able to get right up to the back of Cracknell as they head down into MG once again. There's going to be 11 laps remaining once the leaders go across the line, and this battle is going to go on and on for a while yet.
Yeah, I think I was just having a look at it as well, Paul. It looks like he has made that in-car adjustment. It looks like he has turned that talking Commodore on with a flick of a switch, and he is now all over the back of the SDC Motorsports car of Michael Cracknell. He may be able to have a look going down into turn number 1. He's definitely got the draft. He's got the advantage. He just rolls out of the throttle and just calmly through turn 1, coming down into the southern loop now. He may be able to get a run out of here, get the power down nice and firmly, get it down, no wheel spin on the exit. Let's see what he does. He does a good job there, but he's lost ground. Cracknell gaining on the exit, and that's what you need to do as the car in front of a battle. You need to maximize your exits to minimize the challenge from behind, especially coming down here into Honda corner. You want to make sure that you're the one that has the better drive off of turn number 2, the southern loop, coming down into Siberia now. I just don't think, well, that little bit of a wider line here from Cracknell. A lot of lines going through Siberia. You can take an inside line like Mitchell McLeod, or you can take that wider line like Michael Cracknell. It just depends on your driving preference and how the car is set up. But it looks like McLeod is certainly starting to close in on the back of that car.
David Moore has made it past Greg Sharp down at Honda corner once again. So that is a move up into 11th place now for David, and he's going to be he's got a bit of a challenge on now. 5.7 seconds behind Michael Hammond, so he's really going to get the pedal down into the Axminster as they're heading towards the final part of this race. Well, that battle is still going on for that 4th place. Cracknell is able to pull away a little bit on this lap, and McLeod once again running wide over the grass there a little bit, kicking up the dirt. And that's just going to allow Cracknell just to get away slightly as they head down into Doon corner once again.
Yeah, Crackers just... Oh! Crackers has run wide! He's got to get it back on before Southern Loop. He's going to run wide through Southern Loop, and this is going to give the drive to Mitchell McLeod. He's done a good job to hold onto it, but here comes McLeod in the talking Commodore. He's going to be pushing as hard as he can down here into Honda through Stoner. He's going to keep the foot flat to the floor. Will he be able to pull out? No, he won't. Good defensive run there from Michael Cracknell to hold on to that position. Behind him, Garrell is just closing in. Oh, bad exit there from Crackers, and that's given Mitchell McLeod a good run. He may be able to line himself up. It starts here. You've got to line yourself up from Siberia to have a look down in MG, and he's done a good job. Let's see how he comes through Hayshed here. This fast-flowing right-hander. 5th gear, flat to the floor. Now coming up over Lukey Heights. Wants to make sure he gets the car settled and look to the inside of Michael Cracknell. And he's not close enough. Cracker's actually going very little bit defensive through the middle of Lukey Heights, but McLeod wasn't close enough. But this has brought Paul Garrell into this battle, and he certainly won't hesitate from having a lunge at Mitchell McLeod or his teammate Michael Cracknell. Oh, here we go. Can McLeod have a look going into turn 12? He's got the pace. He's very close now, Paul. He may even have a look going into Doon corner into turn 1.
It's all about the exit here out of turn 12. Been saying it all day, and once again using that slipstream right in the draft there of the car in front now as McLeod looking to the inside towards Doon corner. Maybe Jake make the move down the inside there. We saw Cracknell run wide last time around. This time that KSW printing car able to keep on the track, but as you say, here comes Paul Garrell. He's onto the back of this train now, a train of 3 cars all battling away for 4th place as they head now down towards Stoner corner. McLeod just not getting the best exit out of the southern loop, and that's just giving Cracknell a little bit of a breathing space for the time being. But, well, it's not much of a breathing space. Oh, look at how close they compressed there in the braking into Honda corner. Fantastic racing from these 3.
Yeah, awesome racing between these 3. And just having a look as well, Bo Catello and Richard Alwood have started to close up for P2, so they're going to battle for the podium, but we'll stay here with Mitchell McLeod and Michael Cracknell as he is very close coming through Hayshed now. He may be able to have a look going over Lukey Heights and try and position himself to have a run. Oh, as Michael Cracknell uses a lot of the curb and a little bit of the grass. And not close enough. Just looks like McLeod just isn't comfortable to have a look going down into MG. Just hasn't able to have the car going over Lukey Heights. And it looks like Garrell is definitely starting to close in. That 3-car battle will be on. And if Garrell does anything to help his teammate, he'll definitely start to pressure McLeod to sort of let Crackers just get a little bit of a drive and start to try and skip away out there.
McLeod was very loose out of turn 11 there. The back end kicking out. Here comes McLeod again, looking to the inside. He's not going to make it from there, though, through doing corner. So holding back for the time being, trying to get the better line through here to get the ideal braking point, the line through here, through this southern loop, and get on that power nice and early. Control it, just feather that throttle on. Let the car back in, just slide out a little bit. We've got 8 laps remaining in this race. This is flown by. I don't know about you, Jake, but I'm loving every minute of this. Fantastic driving now down towards Honda once again, all compressing together. Maybe a little bit of contact there. He's got a nose on the inside of Honda. They're going side by side as they head into Siberia, and it's going to be McLeod trying to do it round the outside here, but not able to make that move stick for the time being. Great driving there from Cracknell to hold on to the position.
Yeah, awesome driving from both of these two. Just got the rears locked under brakes was Cracknell. He may make a brake bias adjustment accordingly now, but these two are on, and Paul Garrell, behind. They're both using the grass. There was both of them 2 wheels off in the grass over Lukey Heights, trying to maximise as much as they could on the inside. And he's just not close enough in MG to have another look. But Garrell's just sort of doing the watching brief here, just trying to see what he can do coming through turn 11 now. The rear end looks very planted there from McLeod this time round, able to get the power down nice and gently. And now he's going to try and maximise this exit to gain on Michael Cracknell to go down into P number 4 here. He wants to get that position coming into turn 1, down into Doohan, down Gardner Straight. Has a look. Oh, he threw it a little bit late there. He may minimise. It's actually, yeah, it cost him some time on the exit there as McLeod. And it looks like he's just let Crackers off with a little bit of a hook this time down the Honda. I don't think he'll be close enough to have a look.
Just out of interest, while these three are battling away, Richard Aylward has been gaining on Bo Cattell as they head through this race, and well, 7 laps remaining. This battle is getting closer. It's not quite close enough yet, but we'll be keeping an eye on that one. But yeah, this 3-way battle for 4th place, absolutely enthralling stuff, as once again into Siberia they go. Look at the cars just darting around, heavy under braking there, and Mitchell McLeod was right the first time, going into Siberia there, just not able to make that move stick on Michael Cracknell, and Cracknell doing a fantastic job of defensive driving here.
Yeah, a lot of defensive driving already, but it looks like, just having a look now in Gurrell's car, he's just struggling behind them, I think, is Gurrell, to even be able to make a move. I think he's definitely looks like he's having a watching brief there to maybe not attack McLeod, as McLeod just runs a little bit wide through turn 11, and it has a bit of a wiggle on the exit, and he's lost time to Crackers in front of him coming through this long left-hand. I love turn 12. You're trying to dance the car on the throttle, and it looks like Gurrell's got a better exit. So here we go, and now he's going to try and make an attack. He's going to go the long way round down Gardner Straight. He may even be able to get it done before doing corner. He's going to hold on the inside is McLeod, and Gurrell is trying to hold the inside. They make contact, and Gurrell goes off. Is he able to get it back on without going off at Southern Loop? And he has. So a little bit of contact there between McLeod and Gurrell. He still had his nose on the outside. Maybe a bit of a squeeze. Maybe he should have rolled out of it. And sort of a racing incident there, I think, between both of them. But it looks like that has sort of let Michael Cracknell off the hook for a couple of laps before Mitchell McLeod maybe gets back into a rhythm and tries to close down with 6 laps to go.
Yeah, I think what Gurrell was trying to do was trying to use the slipstream of his teammate there, Michael Cracknell, to get him past, and not able to get past. But like I said, there's a little bit of damage on the front of his car. There'll be a little bit more now as, well, I'm just looking at this battle for 2nd place. Cattell is sideways through Haywood's there, Hirshed, sorry, and down towards MG once again. So Aylward, what I've been noticing is Aylward just seems to be struggling through these final 2 corners compared to Cracknell. Just sliding out a little bit on that front end, so a little bit of understeer in that car to go through turns 11 and 12. And that's where Bo Cattell just seems to be able to get on that power earlier, and with that back end twitching around on Cattell. But surely it's a matter of time, because Cattell, his tyres will be screaming enough now, as Aylward once again just a little bit faster, about half a tenth faster on that last lap.
Yeah, I think Bo Cattell's tyres will be screaming for mercy after this race. They will be worn out, and they will be definitely second-hand tyres for sale on that Boost Juice Commodore The thing now is if he can hold on for P number 2 with about 30 odd laps, sorry, on these tyre set, that is an amazing job for Cattell to be able to hold on, but he's definitely sliding the car out a little bit more than what we're used to for Bo Cattell, but he's holding a good gap to Elwood at the moment. He's not under maximum pressure. Elwood's still there, but it's not her maximum attack like McLeod was on Cracknell the last time round. So let's see whether Elwood can get the power down as Cattell a little bit sideways out of Siberia, able to hold onto it coming through Hayshed now. It's just, he's able to get the car down nicely, Elwood, and that's what's helping. The rears of Cattell is just starting to slide around a little bit too much for his liking. Let's see if he can, under brakes the rear, very sideways down to MG. Elwood very close once again. I think this is going to come down to sort of a last-ditch effort from Elwood if he's going to try and snitch P2 away from Bo Cattell.
Yeah, as I say, he just seems to struggle through these last 2 corners. It's so crucial to get that power on early, to go down the pit straight as Cattell, sideways on the exit of 12. He was sideways over the top of Lukey Heights as well, so really pushing that car as hard as he can, but Aylward using that draft, using that slipstream to catch up once again. These two are struggling away in this battle for second place. They're 8 seconds behind Ian Ford, so Ian Ford just out for a nice Monday evening drive.
Yeah, Ian Ford has been doing this of recent. He's been trying to get a gap and pulling away. He made that mistake last week while out in front, which gifted Cattell that victory after a hard-fought battle in the closing laps, and it looks like Ian Ford doing it once again. And here we go. Elwood looks much closer this time, but like you're saying, he struggles through those final turns, 11 and 12, and it hurts him for sort of the first portion of the track that he's not close enough. Man, wow, wasn't that close from Bo Cattell. He was struggling to put the power down. He finally got it down. He stopped the car from wiggling on the throttle. He is dancing on that accelerator trying to get this car down and put all that 650 horsepower to the ground. And it looks like he's struggling again over Lukey Heights. He's going to run defensive, lock the rears a little bit. And it looks like Elwood is starting to really apply the pressure. Let's see how he goes through turn 11, 12. A little bit wide there at turn 11, not able to do it. And Cattell actually gaining on him again, even with a little wiggle. I think, yeah, Elwood's car for the ANZ, it's just not, it's not glued through those final 2 corners. Actually, he's got a good run here coming out of turn 12. He may be able to have a look going into Doohan Corner.
I think Bo Cattell's tyres are like me on some lounge after an hour. They're done. They've had enough. They're crying mercy now. They are absolutely shot, but he's done a fantastic job of keeping ahead of Richard Aylward as they go through into the Southern Loop once again. But yeah, that car is loose. It's not steering properly around corners. It's understeering. It's got everything. It's got oversteer, understeer. It's all looking awful to drive, but Bo Cattell doing a fantastic job.
I'm just sorry, this is McLeod was sideways out of Southern Loop, and it looks like Garrell may be able to have a look as Elwood has a look, unlock the brakes on Bo Cattell and has a slide out of Honda Corner. It's all going on here as McLeod's actually run wide at Honda, and it's gifted Paul Garrell the top 5 position, P number 5 there for Paul Garrell. McLeod was struggling with the rear end of that car coming through Southern Loop. Sorry to cut you off, Paul, but I seen it in the back, and McLeod was nearly opposite lock, trying to save the car. He was off in the dirt, and he was lucky to save it and not have a big accident.
Yeah, go ahead, cut across me. You're the main guy here, but yeah, this battle for second place still going on. But Richard Aylward has dropped back a little bit on his lap. He got a bit loose on the exit of Honda, and well, we're going to have 2 laps to go when they go across the line this time by. So Aylward really needs to think about making a move or just settling for third, but I don't think settling is in the nature of these boys. They're going to go at it right to the end, and Aylward just in that draft again, but not really closing up there, and like I say, lost about 0.3 of a second on the lap compared to Bo Cattell on that last lap. So Cattell still doing a fantastic job there in second, but Aylward really struggling now, it seems.
Yeah, really struggling in the later stages, and I think it's going to come down to Cattell once again sideways out of turn 2, just trying to get that power down. He's done a good job to hold on, and this is where that tyres are starting to scream, let me be done. Let me get off this car, I want to finish. my stint, and it looks like Elwood's still going to apply a massive amount of pressure with the 2 laps to go. I think it's going to come down to a last lap effort from Elwood. Maybe have a look like Jamie Whincup and Winterbottom down into MG. And again, Cattell sideways out of Siberia. He's just sliding that car like he usually does. But this is where Cattell, he slides it a lot on these final laps, and he heats up those rear tyres, and he just has no rear grip to save for these final stages of the lap. And it looks like Elwood needs to really maximise his turn 11-12 that he hasn't been able to do for this portion of the race. It looks like he struggles compared to Cattell. Let's see, coming through turn 11, he can get the power down nicely, which he has done a little wiggle, but he was able to hold on to it coming through turn number 12 now to start the final lap of this race. And he's managed to hold on there. He's a bit further back though to get the draft, I think, Paul, to maybe have a challenge going down into Honda.
Yeah, he's a bit too far behind. He's 0.6 of a second behind as I go across the line here, down into Doon Corner. Really, he needs to hope that Cattell makes a mistake, which we haven't seen really from Cattell all race. So he'll be praying for a little mistake, maybe a little half spin at Honda. Jeff Gauci, we've lost him. What's happened to him? He's off in the grass. He's doing a bit of grass cutting there. He had a bit of a contact. It looked like into Honda. No, just lost control at Honda, but we'll carry on with that battle for second place. But yeah, Richard Elwood really hoping for a mistake now.
Yeah, really hoping to get a mistake here to see whether he is going to be able to make a move, but I don't think he'll be able to get it done. We'll have to have a watching brief on that, because Ian Ford is on the last lap of this race. He's coming over Lukey Heights now, and he's coming down to MG. And this will be another victory after the mistake last week at Motorsport for the Evolution Racing Australia driver with MPMS racing simulators on board. He has driven an excellent race once again. He got the lead, and he has never looked back after Cattell had that early pit stop. And here he comes round turn number 12. He's going to take the win here at Phillip Island for round number 11 of the official V8 Supercar Championship Series. Ian Ford, another well-deserved victory, and Cattell is on the deep edge from Richard Elwood, and Cattell holds on to P number 2, 30 lap stint on the tyres. Amazing drive there from Cattell to get that position ahead of Elwood, Michael Cracknell and teammate Paul Gorell rounding out the top 5. Just having a look if anyone else has
Hammond
got a battle
close.
going on. Actually, Vlasic and Hammond. I don't think Hammond's close enough, and David Moore's closed that gap. It's not close enough though. Good drive there from Vlasic to finish in P9. I think that's pretty much all the battles we have on hand. But what a race that was, Paul. That was awesome once again. Top-notch driving from everyone in the field.
While you were watching Ian Ford go across the line, I was watching Bo Cattell getting completely sideways out of turn 11 and turn 12. Absolutely incredible car control once again. That's why I took a sharp intake of breath, because I thought they were going to have a big accident there, but great driving there, and well done to the top 3. But fantastic stint from Cattell to pit so early, make those tyres last. Absolutely outstanding driving.
Yeah, I think it was the drive there for Bo Cattell. Awesome drive to be able to hold on for the laps as Nicholas Crofton and Jeff Gauci will come across to be the final cars to finish on the lead lap of this race as Ian Ford celebrates another well-deserved victory in the ERA MPMS simulator sponsored Commodore here. And I think that will end up the positions there. So if you could, Paul Smith, run us through the final order here for round 11.
Yeah, so Ian Ford there doing celebratory donuts down at Honda. He wins the race, 6 seconds ahead of Bo Cattell, who had that outstanding battle there towards the end with Richard Elwood in 3rd. Michael Cracknell then in 4th. We saw him having close battles with Paul Gorell and Mitchell McLeod. They finished 5th and 6th. Adam Zeitinger, he had a bit of quiet race, but finishes in 7th place. Good result for him. Jason Quire in 8th with Marian Vlasic in 9th. 10th place for Michael Hammond. He started in 10th, he finished 10th. With David Moore, we saw going a little bit longer on his stint in the first stint, able to finish in 11th place. Greg Sharp in 12th with David Baxter in 13th. Nicholas Crofton in 14th. Jeff Gauci ended up down in 15th place. He won't be happy with that after starting in 9th. Todd Arkle and Ivan Casanova ended up 1 lap down in 16th and 17th. Then the cars that ended up not finishing the race. Todd Parks Jason Bent, Stefan Schleicher and Joshua Rogers. The big one is Joshua Rogers there out of those guys, but fantastic race from everybody in this field, and really impressed with the driving there today, Jake.
Yeah, awesome driving once again for the field, throughout the field for the entire 40 laps here for the second last round of the championship. And I think we'll have some driver post-race interviews here. I think we will bring up first our P3 final podium finisher here, Richard Alwood. Well done once again, Richard, on an amazing drive to finish in P3, pushing as hard as you could to try and get Bo Cattell in those final laps. Just didn't have enough to get by him.
Yeah, like Bo, I'm glad just to be close to Bo, really, and chasing Ian down early, like it was a great race for me, great fun. Bo, like I'm thinking he's going to lose it, and he pulls it back in and still manages to get drive, so, that's why, those guys are up the top all the time.
Yeah, we don't know how Bo Cattell is able to hold on sliding that car around as much as he does, but he did a good job. And you did an amazing job getting the pole position, gifted you that front row, and you were able to get a clean start and just were managing your tyres throughout that race.
Yeah, it was a bit of a surprise to get the pole, but I'll take it. And I had a pretty hard battle early with Bents and Crackers, and they were coming at me pretty hard, and Bo. But I just had to hang tough. I knew I had good speed once I could get a little bit of clear air.
Yeah, you had great speed throughout that race and pushing as hard as you could to get Bo Cattell. But next week we move to Mount Panorama Bathurst. It's going to be an awesome race there. Hopefully we get to see you there and put on another good show.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Last one, and then we get the new build. So, yeah, it's going to be good. I'm just starting to get the car right.
Yeah, just as everyone starts to figure out this car, we're going to move to a completely new car for next season. It's going to be awesome to see how that goes. Anyone you'd like to thank, Richard, before we let you go?
Simworks have been a pretty big help through the season, and thank Mum and Dad, and great stuff. Thank my wife for letting me play this game.
Good job, Richard. Well done once again on the final podium step in P number 3. We'll move up into our second place finisher here today, Bo Cattell. Bo, well done on getting those tyres to the finish. Awesome drive throughout and a well-deserved P2.
Yeah, thanks guys. I had to try something a little bit out there because I didn't really have the pace today, and Richard was pretty bloody quick, so rather than risk the car, because I was struggling to try and stick it down the inside, I thought I'd pit and sort of do the work in some clean air, and it all sort of worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it worked out well getting that jump on Ian Ford initially, but then having those fresher tyres, you weren't able to hold on. But and then in that later stages, having a battle Richard Howard for a good 10 laps, it was an awesome drive to be able to hold on with those tyres just disintegrating underneath you.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I sort of saw him go from 5 seconds behind when he came out of the pits and just taking 2 or 3 tenths out of lap, and then I knew it was sort of hard to pass, so I was trying to keep the car straight out of the critical corners, and my car was pretty good in sector 3, so that really helped.
Yeah, it looked like your car, that was the best part of your car during that entire race, was out of sector 3. But next week, hopefully you can be able to bounce in at Bathurst and get another victory and a podium result there. It's going to be an awesome race there, and hopefully we get to see there.
Yeah, I'll definitely be at Bathurst, love it, so I'll be doing a few laps and hopefully be on pace again.
Well done once again on P2 today, Bo Cattell. Anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, just the usual, you guys in the box, Race Spot, my guys at SSR, and it's about it.
Thank you, Bo. Well done again on the podium result. Now we're going to move to our race winner here, Ian Ford. Ian, another well done drive there, just was out in front, cruising for most of it in that second portion of the race, and another victory to add to your list.
Yeah, certainly. It was definitely one of the craziest sort of races. There was a bit of strategy going here, there, and everywhere. I'm just super psyched that I actually had a decent start and could overtake Richard into turn 1. That was the that was the main goal of my start. I didn't really have a plan after that, and just fuel saved a little bit just to make sure my pit stop wasn't any longer than it needed to be. Bo went for the ballsy approach in strategy, and I just hoped that making sure that I definitely had a decent tyre advantage over him towards the end worked out. But it was awesome to overtake him so quickly when the tyres were nice and fresh, and then I could just cruise basically to the finish, and actually did a burnout. That's the first time all season I've done a burnout, I think. So yeah, massive kudos to Richard Arwood. That was an insane lap he must have done for quali. I pretty much was ragging that thing 10/10 and couldn't get there, and then on my second lap, the tyres were just dead. So yeah, just massive congratulations to him and the run that he's been on at the moment. Hopefully he finishes up P2 in the championship overall, but other than that, it was a pretty good night.
Yeah, they had a nice comfortable night there in the ERA Commodore for MPMS simulators. Now you move towards Bathurst. That's going to be a crazy race once again. 40 laps is going to be a long one, but you should be able to get some pace and finish off the season, hopefully with that number 1 on the door.
Yeah, certainly. Tonight I think I extended my championship advantage, so it closes off all the options a little bit more. So heading into Bathurst, definitely going to be an awesome race. So it's 40 laps. You've got to keep your mind with you the whole bloody race and just push as hard as you can in this field to even come anywhere. So hopefully we do well over the weekend and come out with the number 1. And I can't wait to see the snazzy new deal on my car next season if I do have the number 1 on it, and it should look pretty good.
Yeah, hopefully it'll look good for next season. Well done again on the victory today, and anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
MPMS simulators, they've been on this car the whole way through the season, and so far it's bringing extremely good luck. So hopefully that continues into next season when the car gets basically reset and everyone and Maverick Welding, Joel Real Timing, I had them on tonight, and I could monitor the gap to Bo. I was still a bit surprised that I came out that close to him. And GTI Springs have been in the pedals. Without them, I don't think I could be braking this confidently into the hairpin and those sort of things. So, and kudos to you guys for putting on an awesome broadcast. Can't wait to watch it back again.
Thank you, Ian. Well done once again on a great victory here today at Phillip Island. Now we'll move to our 4th place getter of Michael Cracknell. Crackers, a great battle throughout the race, especially in that later stages with Mitchell McLeod and Paul Gorell. It was on for young and old there, and you were able to hold on to get P4.
Cheers, guys. Yeah, I didn't exactly want to be into that battle, but second lap out after the pit stop, I put the left rear wheel on the grass, a bit like last week, and got it very sideways, and I was able to catch it, but I had to use all the sand and dirt and stuff at Lukey Heights to be able to pull it up. So, yeah, that's why I fell back.
Yeah, a little mistake hurt you there, but still were able to hold on for P4. You looked like the car was very settled and were able to get the power down in the areas you wanted compared to McLeod behind you, and you still delivered a good result.
Yeah, that was the key, particularly out of the sort of hairpin and around onto the main straight. There was a couple of spots there where I was able to just nail it and get the power down, but overall I wasn't that happy with the car. That was one area where it seemed pretty strong, as I could get the power down generally without wheel spinning it, so that was good.
Now, it was a good drive, and now you move to Bathurst next week. It's going to be a crazy race, 40 laps, another long one, and hopefully we get to see you there and you'll be able to maybe bounce back with a podium.
Bathurst, 40 laps, my God. That's going to be a marathon. I won't say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm pretty sure I'll compete, so yeah, well, I'm sure it'll be fun.
It's always fun at Bathurst, but well done once again on just missing out on the podium here, but a good top 5 finish there, Crackers. Anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Just everyone at SDC, Paul, Bo, they worked pretty hard on set for Friday night's race here, so yeah, a lot of the work that went into the car I think goes to them, so cheers to those guys, and yeah, just our sponsors, KSW Painting, Simpit and SS Owners Club.
Cheers, well done once again, Crackers, on a good drive there in P4, and I think that will wrap it up here today at round 11 of the official V8 Supercar Championship Series. Well done once again to Ian Ford, another well-deserved victory, and thank you to Paul Smith joining me in the commentary booth tonight, and once again Director Hugo Louise for all the beautiful camera work. And I am Jake Blackall. We hope to see you next week for 40 laps around the great Mount Panorama Bathurst circuit, which will prove to be an amazing end to what has been an amazing season 2, as we head into season 3. Thank you and goodbye, and we hope to see you next week.